Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we go to Jeepin with Judd, and well, we kind of made it home. So let's start off with some videos of us at Jeepin with Judd. If you don't know, if you've never been, Jeepin with Judd's kind of hard to kind of take video at unless you are part of the organization that puts it on, like the Polk County Sheriff's Department and maybe some of the Orlando Jeep Club. Just because they don't let you get out of your Jeep while you're on the trail. So to really get good video, drones also, they don't allow drones. It's kind of a pain. So here's a couple videos that we took with the GoPro just to kind of give you a little taste of our experience at Jeepin with Judd.
Man, this one would be a beast if it was wet.
See a bunch of turkeys. Unless they're vultures. Might be vultures.
Just keep some momentum, babe. Just
Hammocks. Oh, there's hammocks out here.
and there's a skeleton in it.
Where? Oh, and there's green blood coming out of it. Oh wait, that's not blood. That's a mask. It's a mask on. I thought it was green blood coming out.
Whoa. I wish I had woods like this on a
Whoa.
Alright, I think we start rolling again.
This is the
everything he told you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he'll probably tell me too.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the hardest one of all of
In
them.
a minute, you'll see it drop down. Just ride your brakes, don't smack the rear bumper, and then once you get off that, it's an easy ride. Once it clears its drop, you'll.
Whoa. You can literally touch the ground. Oh, I can touch the ground. No, you can't.
Just take your time, babe. You're just pressing the brake the whole time.
No.
That's all you're doing. Go as fast. So this is what I get for being a dumbass. So I was tired of smelling the coolant leaking a little bit, because I haven't got around to replacing the expansion tank. So we were on the trails. I was getting tired of smelling the coolant, so I decided this morning, right before we hit the trail, to try to take that little hose off, maybe wrap it around some tape, kind of seal it up a little bit better, and then put it back on. Well, I made it worse. So I call up the local Dodge, and good news, they could get me one in a month. So my bright idea is actually one of our other friends with another Gladiator looked at his, and his is bone dry in there. He has no coolant whatsoever. He didn't even realize. So I drained that one out, and what we're gonna do is, as seen on TV, get some a Flex Seal tape and some Flex Seal spray, just the spray itself, and see if we can just mend that, kind of seal it up a little bit. And since it's dry, I drained it all out. See if we could just use it just for expansion of gases rather than having any liquid in it. The system's already full, so I just really drained out what's left over there, especially since our other friends hasn't had any in it at all. So hopefully that'll tie us over so we can hit the trails today and, more importantly, get home. So as you can see, we took last year Jeepin' with Judd off. Maybe me and Mari will do kind of a video on our experience at Jeepin' with Judd 2025, which was definitely different than our other experience at Jeepin' with Judd at 2025. So maybe we'll do that in another video. This one's going to talk about kind of the ending of Jeepin' with Judd. So just a little bit of our experience. It was good. And then we packed up and started driving home. And that's kind of where, let's just say, shit hit the fan. Yeah, here's a clip.
Okay, so PaPaBeast basically just literally shut down on the side of 17. And now we got to figure out what's causing it. Thinking maybe the battery. There's literally not a spark, but of all times for this to happen, it doesn't happen on the trails that we've been riding for the last 2 days. No, it happens on the way home. Yay. So still sitting here about 2 hours. We've pretty much determined that it's an issue with the computers. Somehow it's just not communicating. I'm sure Chris will fill you in more details on exactly what it is, because I'm not the pro here, but we ended up having to call tow trucks, so we're waiting for a tow truck to come and get PaPaBeast in the trailer, and then we'll all together and jump in Mama Beast and head back. Been a long weekend, but a lot of fun weekend. Had a blast. Really tested my Jeep out this weekend too, and good times. Ended on a tough note though. We'll get through it. Jeeps, there's always a problem with them. See you guys on the trail.
So obviously you could see PaPaBeast is back. He's back in the driveway. We got the new tube doors from Easy 4x4. Maybe I'll do a kind of a little video on that and something else, talking about my initial take on these doors. So far I like them. They're nice. But yeah, put them together. Like I said, PaPaBeast is back. But what the hell happened? Obviously, you can see we're stuck on the side of the road with the trailer. Mama Beast, her tow rating cannot handle that trailer remotely close. So yeah, what happened? Let's kind of dive into what we were doing roadside. So first thing I do is call Cliff from Prodigy Off-Road. We were with him all weekend. I give him a call. He was actually like an hour and a half in front of us. He was, by the time we called him, he was literally getting home, which was about an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours away. And we were 30 minutes down the road from our campsite at Jeepin Judd, on the side of the highway. So what happened? So I was driving down the highway, or US 17, if anyone's familiar with Florida and whoever went to Jeepin Judd. And we were approaching the next town. I believe it was Fort Meade, I want to say, which was the next town. Everything was great. I was just cruising back. Caden was my co-pilot, and towing the trailer. Thing was doing great after wheeling it all weekend. And next thing I know, it was just it just shut off. The engine just turned off, just shut off. No warning lights or anything to kind of give me a heads up that something was going on. It was it just completely shut off. The dashboard lit up like a freaking Christmas tree. Warning sign, boop, 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 going crazy. I threw it in neutral, tried to hit the restart. I had no crank. Didn't try to start at all. So I hit the hazards and kind of pulled over to the side of the road. Mari pulled in behind me, and I got out, and I just shook my head. I knew it was not good. So I called Cliff and kind of trying to run through things. The first thing he says was kind of check the batteries, check the fuses. I didn't notice anything. None of the fuses were blown. He then kind of said that he had prior dealing, since he deals with Jeep so much. There's actually a CAN bus behind the glove box, and I'll here's a little picture or a video of what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's only like a $40 to $50 part, and he says sometimes that went bad, that goes bad, it gets I don't know what really happens to it, but loses connection and it doesn't turn the PCM on. So the reason we kind of led to the PCM was because luckily we went to the AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly's I think it was, and we used their scanner. It was only right down the road. We used their scanner, and it said something with the PCM wasn't communicating. There was no power, wasn't communicating. So he figured that it might have been the CAN bus, but unfortunately I tried to call the dealers. They're all closed. It was Sunday afternoon, so no one was open, no parts were open, and it's a dealer only part. Go figure. So O'Reilly's didn't have it, and that's what they said. So then we were kind of thinking, or at that point, we weren't really thinking. The whole time we were kind of thinking we might need a tow truck, which leads us to a whole nother crazy stuff. Who are we going to call, and how much is this going to cost? Luckily, I have a few friends in the industry that were really a lifesaver. I called a buddy of mine that I've known for, golly, we're probably going on 15, 16 years now. The owner of Prompt Towing up in Punta Gorda, Florida. He was actually on vacation when I called him, and he sent his people out and literally saved me from going crazy. So they were great. The driver was awesome. You know, I was so frustrated and tired from the whole weekend, and Joey and his people over at Prompt really helped me out. They really tried to save me any money. They were just honest with me about pricing. They even said, like, hey, try to call some insurance and, you know, try to figure out something else out to make it cheaper on me. So they weren't just trying to look for a tow or try to just get money. They were really trying to help me out. So so those are some good people over there. So here's a little picture of PaPaBeast arriving at the house late that night. Let's just give you some sort of time frame. I believe at like 12:30, 1 o'clock, it was when we broke down, and this picture was I believe somewhere around like 9:30 at night. So and then we also wheeled that morning. So needless to say, you know, it was not the greatest ending to a good weekend. So, but yeah, so so they dropped off the trailer at the house. We wanted it towed over to Cape Dodge, who, I have a good relationship with Cape Dodge, I would say. Service, man, I have never bought a car there, but service they always treat me good. They always warranty my stuff, and they don't give me a hassle on anything. They're pretty straightforward to me. As far as I hate dealers, but as far as dealing with service and dealers, I mean, they're always really good to me. So that's just my experience with them. I know everyone has their own, but that's just mine. And actually, some of them are subscribers to the channel, so it's always a good time when they see PaPaBeast rolling in, especially on a flatbed. They just start laughing. So the driver subsequently calls me and says, "Hey man, they block off their lot, so you can't do night drop-offs there," which is a pain in the butt. But I have another friend that owns a shop here in Cape Coral, Joe over at Southwest Motorsports. So I knew he wouldn't care, so I just dropped it off. I just had the driver drop it off, put the keys in the box, and I just shot him a text saying that I dropped it off there for the time being. Joe has been a really good friend of mine for many, many years. He took a quick look at it and said that the fuse panel, right here, here's a picture of it. But the fuse panel had power going in, but no power was coming out of it. So he said that there was a bad fuse in there somehow, which was the first thing that Cliff said. But roadside, with people that aren't really that big on mechanics, like I'll change out brakes and everything like that, but a whole bunch of computer stuff, I'm at a loss. So he said there was issue there, but his cost for him to do it would have been like $800-900 to replace that fuse panel. And he said, man, you really should probably get the dealer and look at the warranty to get this covered. So unbeknownst to me, Mopar warranty has customer towing. I had no idea. I wouldn't have probably called in a favor from Joey if I knew that Mopar had a tow service or roadside assistance. But in all, it worked out at the end because I don't think the roadside assistance would have brought the Jeep all the way from where I was to locally. They would probably brought it to the nearest dealer up there, and I would have to communicate with them by phone and find out how to go get my truck or my Jeep. So anyway, we got it towed over there. Jeep took, they took a good bit. I mean, it was all about 2.5 weeks. That's why this video is coming out so late, because I wanted to know what happened. And I literally just got this back a couple days ago. They said that both batteries had damaged cells. So they both needed replaced, which of course isn't covered under warranty. So I had to pay out of pocket for that. And there was a fuse in the fuse panel or underneath the fuse panel that was blown. So they just fixed that, and they just, Cape Dodge just said, hey, you just pay for the batteries, we're good. We just had one laying around, we swapped it, we swapped it in there, you're good to go. Well, once the batteries were in, they retested everything, and there were still some issues. So they had to, and they couldn't really communicate because they said, or they probably fixed it. That was just a misunderstanding, but they tested each module, trying to figure out where the communication issue is breaking down of why the PCM's not turning on. Well, they manually tested grounds and everything like that. And if you read the forums, there's some sort of ground issue with the Gladiators. Some people on the forums are complaining about bad grounds getting loose. Well, somehow, long story short, there was no pun intended, there was a short in the fuse panel that shorted out the PCM. The PCM was showing a bad ground. internal ground. So they had to replace the PCM and they had to replace the fuse panel, the TIPM, the something, whatever you mechanics know, the TIPM. I just think that's the fuse panel. But please, if you know better than me, can you explain it down on the comments? But I kind of wanted to know what was the deal. Was it something that we did? Because we haven't touched this. We haven't done any updates or any modifications to it in over a year. So for it just to short out now is kind of odd. And well, you know, Cape Dodge kind of really didn't want to dive into it, or they were just like, you know, they kind of shrugged it off, that question. But Joe, a buddy of mine, said, he laughed and said, well, it's a Chrysler. So he said he's had to replace 8 of them already in his day. So, and then Cliff said that he had to replace 6 or 7 of the CAN buses. So apparently this is an ongoing issue. Hopefully they have updated the parts list and kind of fixed that, so I don't have to worry about that now. But I'm still kind of nervous now of going on long trips, but he's back. We do have other plans. I am looking at some fenders, but I don't know. I got the doors. Got a good price on these doors, thanks to Easy 4x4 for hooking me up at the end of the event. But yeah, so that's it. Hope I answer everyone's questions or of what happened, because I'm sure on Instagram and social media, if you follow us, you would have seen PaPaBeast on the back of a tow truck. So yeah, that's it. Long story short, the fuse panel shorted out, fried the computer, and so roadside, there was no coming back. Had to be done at the dealer or a local shop. So yeah, we're back home safe. Thank God. Other than that, as always, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notifications, and share the video to, I don't know, any of you other Jeepers that get stuck on the side of the road. Kind of give you a little heads up of what it might be. Other than that, we'll see you out in the trail.